What's up, War Report family? We are talking Auburn's first day of spring practice. B. Will and I were live to see it. So we're going to take a look and talk about what we saw in Hugh Freeze's first spring practice at Auburn. Let's drop it on him.
You are now listening to the War Report.
Good morning, War Report family. It's your boy Mike G. I'm here with my guy B. Will. We are talking Auburn's first spring practice under Hugh Freeze. We got a chance to go out in the media viewing period and to see what these guys were working with. B, what did we see? Like, let's just flat out. What did we see? What did we see during the little 20 minutes that they gave us to watch practice?
We saw drills. We saw
hella drills.
Just every position group was doing 2-3 sets of drills. The wide receivers, fortunately, we got to see wide receivers working with quarterbacks as well as tight ends. And then we got to see the second part of that, the media viewing session. We got to see running backs taking handoffs from the quarterback. So the running back drill was much ado about nothing. Literally practicing the mesh point and running or keeping. It was almost nothing.
You're right.
However, the passing, even though there was nothing sexy about the routes they were running, it was about the wide receivers getting coached up by Marcus Davis, who was like right in front of us on that sideline, telling them, hey, push harder upfield. You know what I'm saying? Just coaching stuff. Like, I was like, yeah, that was cool to see Marcus Davis interact with the wide receivers, telling them how to run those routes that they were practicing, taking those passes from the quarterbacks. And so we did get to see 4 quarterbacks. That's TJ Finley. That's Holden Gardner, Robbie Ashford, Sawyer Pate.
Yep.
All throw passes to the wide receivers and the tight ends as they were coming out of breaks and going for the corner of the end zone. So we got to see that, and it's not incredibly enlightening, but man, it was good to be outside watching football players play football.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good to be out there.
Well, there were some things I noted about certain players. Nick Martner is big and tall. And in Hugh Freeze's post-practice press conference, he talked about, someone asked a question about bigger receivers. And he talked about catch radius and, why it's important in this league to be able to have a good catch radius and be able to go up and make plays. And as we were watching the quarterbacks throw to the wide receivers, I wondered, man, how they might have plans for Nick Martner because, he's the tallest guy out there. And, we saw him catch some impressive passes during the viewing period. But, what are your thoughts on Nick Martner in this wide receiver room? We talked about him, but I feel like a lot of fans are just kind of looking past Nick. There's a chance the newcomer gets in here and, lights it up.
Yeah, there absolutely is. And if nothing else, he has a rapport with Marcus Davis, who was the wide receiver coach. Now, what we don't know is who's determining who gets into the game.
Right.
All right. So last administration, let's say, there was some doubt and confusion as to whether, all right, we question constantly in 2021, why isn't Elijah Kenyon on the field? He's a pass catcher. He's the best pass catcher we have on the team at that point. And there may have been some confusion about to whether who determines whether or not the pass catchers get on the field. Is it the wide receiver coach or is it the head coach? This year, we don't know how that works. And it might not be anything controversial. It might just be like, hey, the head coach says, here's what you got to do to get on the field. And if you don't do it, you're not getting on, no matter how good you are. So we will have to see how it works out. But, just from what we saw in the viewing, Martner is a very long wide receiver, man, and he's catching the passes that were thrown his way. And to see a guy of that stature, like if you ever see a cornerback in person, they're going to look like you. You're going to be looking eye to eye with them. I'm 5'11 and a half, 6 feet. They're going to look like, oh, you're a dude. You're just a much more athletic and in shape dude. This guy, like, no, this is, I don't even know why you're on the football field.
Right.
Like, you're taller than the tight ends, man. Like, this is strange. And I don't know how you don't use a guy with that stature. I think he absolutely gets used. If I had to guess right now, without seeing anything but him catching a few passes, yes, he gets used. Now, to what extent? I don't know. I think a lot of this is going to come down to who's the quarterback.
Right.
Who's the quarterback going to be, man? That's going to determine what our offense looks like and what they draw up for these guys. But yeah, Martiner's size, I think, definitely puts him on the field.
Yeah, listen, he was physically impressive, but also physically impressive were all of the running backs, right? All of them looked in tip-top shape. Everybody looks like they had a pretty productive off season in the weight room. Jarquez Hunter, of course, looks great. We got to see the new guy, Batee. He's a little shorter than some of the other running backs, but it'll be interesting to see, how they work him in to everything. Now, we got a chance to talk to Hugh Freeze after practice.
Right.
So I want to spend the second half of this segment talking about what Hugh Freeze said. At the end, there was a question by some guy. I don't know his name. And he asked a question about the rotations and the reps. And, hey, coach, like, you have a limited opportunity to make an impact in the spring. How quickly are you going to narrow down reps? And how did you decide that? And he was like, I don't think we're narrowing anything down during the spring.
Right.
I find that curious.
Why? Okay, let me ask you this. Why would he need to narrow it down in the spring?
Well, in terms of distribution of reps, if you're telling me, because they only got so many hours out there.
Right.
So you're telling me 4 guys are going to get even reps all spring? I don't know. I don't know about this strategy, but it did lead me to another question about 8A and an 8A format where it's, hey, listen, defense tries to keep the offense from getting to 24, and the offense has to get to 24. I thought that was interesting as well, but I'll let you jump back to talking about the narrowing down of reps before we talk about 8A.
Okay, so the narrowing down of reps, this is how it is for most camps is, unless you have just an incumbent that's just firmly entrenched, you're going to see it's wide open. And I actually like the fact that it's wide open. But scrimmages usually are what starts to change things a bit. And I don't think he has any info yet. I mean, in the media viewing session, Hugh Freeze wasn't even out there yet. He got some hands-on later, or either before or later, and that was probably by design. So my guess is that these position coaches are getting their hands on the players for the first time. They're going through drills. This is fundamental stuff. The hard coaching probably doesn't come until we get close to some scrimmages. And then some of this starts to sort itself out. Now, I don't think you owe it to anybody to say, hey, here's who is absolutely my starter going into A-Day or coming out of A-Day. You just have to get these guys up to speed on what you want physically and from a culture perspective. And once they do that, they've got to learn. They've got a lot to learn. And that's why I think it's not, I won't say it's not fair. It's fair to go, listen, no matter what happens in the spring, this is still wide open because this is a learning period for all of y'all. Y'all don't know this offense. Y'all don't know me. You need to learn me, what I expect, and the offense at the same time. It's okay if we grade you on the curve in the spring, but fall I expect to be much different.
Yeah. I don't know. I think some of this is cap. I think some of this is cap. I think mentally he's going to be narrowing it down at the very least. But I can't imagine an A-Day where like all 4 quarterbacks are getting even reps. I just can't. So that's why I asked the question.
But see, that's why I said the scrimmages, though. The scrimmages start to organize, let them get some information where they want to organize it. And then you have kind of a pecking order going into A-Day. But I still don't think A-Day is the end all be all. Because again, I've told you on Sunday, I think they're going to get another dude no matter what.
Right. Now, let me tell you this. I believe that as well, too. Just how hard are they going after that guy and, who that guy is and who's available.
Right.
Come, when it's time to go after that guy, it's going to be super important. So we saw some things quickly. It felt like it flew by. So I can't stress to our viewers enough. We got out there and we were gone. And it was just like, hey, by 2 minutes, we want y'all by the door, ready to not see anything.
Right.
And, so we didn't get to see a lot. The wide receivers and the quarterbacks were on the close side of the field to us as, the running backs were. The D linemen were on the other side of the field.
Right.
So we didn't get to get a good look at the D linemen. I'm hoping during the next viewing period, we get to see some of the D linemen and what they look like and what they're working on. But honestly, watching them hit pads and doing basic drills, not very informational.
Yeah, I am definitely not the tactician or the technician when it comes to what makes a D lineman proficient. Like, oh man, did you see that hand placement? Like, there's somebody who can look at a practice and get a lot of information. I'm not that person. Not with that type of position.
Well, until they start going up against each other.
Right.
O lineman on D lineman. I think we're not going to get a lot of information on those guys. So, there were some questions about Connor Lew I see here in the chat. We're going to get to the chat here in just a second. And some other linemen. I wanted to get a look at Jason Jones. We didn't get a really chance to look at him. But this won't be the only media viewing period of the spring. Hugh Freeze has gotten his era kicked off here on the Plains. Also getting kicked off on the morning drop is Rogue Shop.
You've done better. You'll do better next time.
Yeah. All right,
your best work.
This segment is brought to you by the Rogue Shop. RogueShop.com for all your herbal supplement needs. Use code REPORT to get 15% off. And they've got stuff for sleep, anxiety, stress, anything you got. The Rogue Shop has something for you. I want to thank our guy Richard for being a longtime sponsor of the War Report. Visit the Rogue Shop. Use code REPORT, 15% off. Also, continue to support our content. Guys, we did it. We hit 10K. It happened. 10,000 subs for the War Report. Less than 2% of YouTube channels ever reach that mark. So thanks to you guys, we were able to do that. But you can continue to help us grow by signing up as a patron member. $5.99 a month will help you get access to film reviews and member-only content that we do for you guys. So $5.99 a month. Become a patron. Help us continue to grow. 20K on the way, definitely.
For sure.
So, B, let's get to some comments here. You guys have been in the comments. We want to get to a super chat first. B Will's forehead said, I came here for arguing, not actual useful info and practice. We're going to get to that.
Yeah. We gotta debrief the practice, the viewing time. We got to do that first. Don't worry, Mike G will get fried up in due time.
Oh my God.
I have not forgotten.
I see we're full of delusion here. First thing in the morning. Cleveland Brown. TJ is getting another chance to get the nod. Do we still bring a transfer QB or not?
Yeah. He's bringing in another transfer quarterback. So no matter what is already here, even if it's some great stuff here, I want you to think about this, Cleveland and anybody else. If you bought a house, right? If you're going to buy a house and you're not building it from scratch, if you had to buy this house and somebody else owned it first, there are going to be things in that house that you love. And hopefully you got the house that you really, really like. Sometimes you got to make some compromises. It's in my area. It's in my budget. We just got to get it. But you get the house first. Then you start furnishing it. Then you can start making some changes. It comes with a refrigerator. All right, well, I don't really like that refrigerator, but I need a refrigerator. So this one will do until I get in here, get moved in, start work, get the kids in school, and then we'll start looking for all the things that are very specific to what I want them to be. I don't want just a fridge, just an old school fridge with top bottom. I want the 4-quadrant with the programmable temperature on it. I want the bells and whistles. Hugh Freeze came into a program. The first quarterback he got was Hank Brown. He recruited him at Liberty. But even then, I mean, hey, that was his Liberty recruit, and he let him come on board. But we didn't have any other 2023 quarterbacks in the fold as far as from high school. So you need to bring in at least one. So he did that. These aren't his guys. Okay. Yeah. He may very much like some of these guys. You could know what, this carpet isn't bad in this house. Yeah, but it's not the carpet. If I had to do it from scratch, would I get this? Maybe not. He's going to outfit this program to be in his image and look exactly how he wants it to look. But for now, he needs bodies. Again, we bring this up. He was down to the 4th string quarterback 3 months ago. He beat Arkansas with either the 3rd or the 4th. I think he beat Arkansas with his 3rd string, and then he lost like the next week to somebody else with his 4th string. You need bodies. You need bodies to be competent, and not bodies who are on there just for the sake of having a scholarship. Like towards the end of the Gus era there, we had guys, the 2nd string quarterback wouldn't have started a game in this league anywhere else. Finally, we need Hugh Freeze needs to get bodies in here who he likes and who he trusts. I think he was trying to do that with Grayson McCall with Devin Leary. Those were his pickups. So they're still kind of like emergency pickups because it's not like he groomed these guys to be the quarterback and the starter coming out of high school. There's stopgaps to a certain extent. When you get a guy who's just going to be 1 year, 2 years at the most, it can be a good pickup, but it's still not exactly what you want. Walker White will probably be the first. That's just truly his. But TJ Finley may not be. I get it. When he got on the field last year, we weren't so high on him, right? Because he turned the ball over too much. But let me tell you, at seeing him live reps last year and this year, the boy can throw the ball. This boy can throw the ball, man. He can sling it. It looks beautiful when he throws the ball. And when a coach comes down here and sees, like, wow, okay, I heard some things, but I'm looking at you throw this ball right now. I'm looking at you call out these plays right now and know what we're running right now. I'm impressed. Harsin was impressed with him, and there's no reason to believe that same thing can't happen here. But that's still not his guy. So no matter how impressive TJ Finley might be early going, I think he's going to get somebody.
You said all that to say, yeah.
He's not his dude, man. This is not his dude. I think coaches are going to like, listen, I'm going to get my dude. Okay. Every coach wants to get their guy. TJ's not his guy. He can be a very good, productive player. Whoever is going to get the starting job, I'm sure Hugh Freeze is going to get the most out of him, but he's waiting to get his guy.
Listen, he better hope he can get one guy. So I hope his guy is the guy. Big Gap says TJ Finley has 9 lives like a cat. A lot of people buried him, as B Will just articulated. TJ's out there. Hugh Freeze is not shying away from saying his name. I have the volume down due to work. Is Cam Riley injured? Listen, Hugh Freeze said that there were some guys that they held out of team stuff. There were like 3 or 4 guys that they held out of team stuff, but everybody was mostly out there. So it sounds like they have some injuries that they're watching. And that they're just trying to keep everybody healthy this spring. Kevin Doom is coming in, helping us celebrate 10K subs. That's right, 10K.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
It looks so good out beside the Wool Report on their front page. Haley Tubbs, Connor Lew is going to be running over boys all season. He's going to need an IHOP NIL deal. All the pancake blocks to come. All right, Haley getting clever here. First thing in the morning. We're looking forward to seeing what Connor Lew can do. That was a guy that stayed committed to Auburn through some stuff. So all eyes will be on that O-line this offseason. This is Holden's make or break season at Auburn. If he gets first team reps, he can outshine every other QB in drills, I think. Now, here is my question. Again, if you're not narrowing it down, what is first team reps? It's just reps.
Yeah.
According to Hugh, they're just reps.
Yeah.
And everybody's getting the same reps. And they'll figure things out, but they don't plan on narrowing anything down during the spring. So we'll see who looks good in the reps that they get. Haley Tubbs, I can't deal with another fall of the quarterback carousel. Get ready. You can deal with it because you're going to have to, Haley.
You know what? I don't think we're going to get a carousel. I think we're going to get a spring of quarterback carousel. Maybe a fall camp, but I'm trying to think back to in other places. Do we remember?
Said fall. She said fall. I thought she said spring, but you're right. Yes.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen in the fall. I'm thinking back. Did Ole Miss ever have a this guy in, this guy out type thing? No. I think Hugh gets a pecking order. Even when he had first gotten there and when he first got to Liberty, he had a guy he rode with him, which is refreshing. I don't think any coach dislikes that. I think most coaches want to do that. But I mean, think about last year. We did not have the luxury of just having one guy. TJ was in there and he was turning the ball over way too much. Got hurt. You got to go to Rob. I mean, you got to. It was pretty much out of necessity. So I hope injury isn't the reason. If we do, I hope injury isn't the reason we have to be switching guys. I hope we can just get one guy and stick with him and he can grow. Because that's something I think all these guys were kind of robbed of last year is the time to get better, running the same stuff with stuff designed for you to run it. Now be in there and get better. Before Robbie, his first start is that when Tate Johnson went down or was that Penn State? When Tate Johnson went down to center?
I'm not sure.
So whenever it was, Robbie didn't start to Missouri. I think the offensive line was in flux before he even got his first start.
Right. Like
some stability is what really any of these guys need. So hopefully Hugh Freeze can find a way to pick his guy and give him some time to get accustomed to the offense.
Absolutely. Cam says, who outside of DJ James and Hunter deserves unlimited reps? Everybody else's job is up for grabs. That's why even reps seems fair. It does. Just not all spring to me. Right. So if nobody is separating, sure, you continue to evaluate. But I got to think somebody's going to separate here after the first, 4 or 5 practices. So we'll see. A third of the way through camp, we'll see how it's looking out there and see if somebody starts to emerge. I'll tell you what. You know who else is emerging? The Rogue Shop. The Rogue Shop is emerging as a sponsor for the War Report.
I didn't know what was coming.
Okay,
that was better. That was better.
Use code Rapport to get 15% off that Rogue Shop order. They got stuff for sleep, stress, anxiety. We love the Rogue Shop here. Our guy Richard, longtime sponsor of the War Report. We appreciate him. We appreciate you for becoming a patron. So $5.99 a month will help you support our content. We hit 10K subs. Now we're shooting for 20, but there's no amount limit to the patron members we're shooting for. So we want everybody to become a patron, help support the work that we're doing here at the War Report. Guys, this is the morning drop. Myself, B. Will here, bringing you guys the drop 4 days a week. We're out. And as always, War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Drop.